When credit cards turned carnivorous, Lena sat cross-legged on the floor of her tiny flat in Peckham, her laptop balanced on a laundry basket. Rain tapped gently against the window, but the sound was drowned out by her pounding heartbeat. She opened her Monzo app. Balance 5.3. Her chest tightened. She swiped to her credit cards folder. Halifax, maxed. Barclaycard, maxed. Capital One, over limit. Klarna, red warning banner. Every single one screaming, minimum payment due. Tomorrow. She blinked hard. Maybe if she looked again it would change. It didn't. The numbers stayed, cold, unforgiving. Like neon signs flashing failure in her face. Lena exhaled shakily, her finger hovering over the Barclaycard icon like it might bite. She clicked it anyway. APR, 34.9%, minimum due, £47, available balance, 0. It was the same story on the rest. She glanced at the fridge. 1 egg, half a loaf of bread, rent due in a week. How did it get this bad? She whispered. She looked down at her chipped nail polish, then back at the screen. This can't be my life. But it was, and tomorrow the cards would come knocking. She didn't have the money, but maybe she had one last ounce of fight. It didn't begin with recklessness. It began with survival. Lena was a freelance copywriter when COVID hit. Projects dried up, clients vanished. One by one, invoices stopped being paid, and jobs stopped coming in. She watched her savings bleed out month by month until there was nothing left. So she reached for the Halifax card. Just until next payday, she whispered, heart pounding. It covered groceries. Then rent when her landlord hiked it up. Then her energy bill, doubled by a market correction she didn't understand. One card led to another. By the time lockdowns eased, she owed £3, £200 across 3 credit cards. But things would get better. They had to. She picked up new gigs, got 2 steady clients, started repaying the minimums. Just enough to keep things quiet. Then groceries jumped. 20% more for the same basket. Her oat milk? Up 6 tip. Eggs? Forget it. Council tax crept higher. So did her mobile bill. Even her Pret coffee went from 2.6 to 3.1, so she stopped drinking coffee entirely. Still, the cards kept climbing. Because minimums don't fix anything. They just delay the drowning. Every time she paid, interest gobbled it up. 18 months in, the balances were higher than ever, and she was out of tricks. No overdraft, no savings. No family she could ask. Just her laptop, and 4 carnivorous credit cards that refused to back down. She rubbed her eyes and muttered, this wasn't supposed to be forever. But deep down, she knew unless she changed something drastic, it would be. It was supposed to be a simple trip. Just milk, eggs, and some rice essentials she'd carefully calculated to fit her 5.3 balance. Lena queued at Lidl, gripping the basket like it was gold. She watched each item beep through. 1.35, 2.1. She had done the math 3 times. Card declined, the cashier said gently. Lena blinked. Sorry, can you try again? Another beep, another decline. She froze. The queue behind her grew restless. Or just take the rice, she muttered, cheeks burning. Then a hand tapped her shoulder. A middle-aged woman with tired eyes and a soft accent stepped forward. I've got it, love. No, it's okay, Lena started. But the woman had already tapped her card and smiled. Pay it forward someday. Lena could barely whisper, thank you, before grabbing the bag and rushing outside, blinking hard. That night, curled on her futon, she cried into a pillow. It wasn't the £5, it was the humiliation, the helplessness. The fact that a stranger had more control over her groceries than she did. Enough. She sat up, puffy-eyed, grabbed her laptop and typed into Google, how to get out of credit card debt UK. The results flooded in, some dodgy, some hopeful. One phrase kept popping up, the SnowballMethod. Lena clicked it. Debt repayment plan. Start with the smallest balance. Build momentum. It sounded doable. She whispered, okay, one step at a time. And for the first time in months, she didn't feel trapped, just challenged. The next morning, Lena brewed instant coffee-no milk. Of course, Anne sat cross-legged with her laptop. Her browser still open on debt advice. Her mind was cloudy, but determined. She typed, best way to pay off credit cards UK. Top result, money-saving expert, Martin Lewis. She clicked. The language was clear. No judgment, just a plan. The Snowball Method, it read. List all your debts from smallest to biggest. Pay the minimum on each one, throw every spare pound at the smallest. Once it's gone, move to the next. Keep going until it's all wiped. It didn't promise magic. No instant hacks or shady schemes. Just consistency, momentum, and facing the numbers. Lena opened a notebook. She listed Klarna, £85, Capital One, £412 Barclaycard, £610 Halifax, £1,330, minimum payments totaled £168 month. Her current income, £100 if her freelancing held up. She gulped. Could she really do this? She clicked Download Debt Snowball Tracker. Printed it at the local library later that day, 20 she could barely spare. Back home, she taped the tracker to her wardrobe door. It stared at her like a challenge. I can do this, she said softly, writing 10 in the first snowball cell. Her Klarna debt was smallest. It would be the first to fall. She didn't feel rich or powerful, but she felt equipped. And that was new. Lena sat in front of her bank statement, pencil in hand. Her snowball tracker glared at her from the wardrobe like a coach daring her to quit. Step 1. Cut the fat. First went the subscriptions. Cancel Spotify. Goodbye curated playlists. Cancel Netflix. She'd miss her comfort shows, but YouTube was still free. She stared at her iPad. A birthday gift from better days. Sorry, pal. She snapped a picture and posted it to Facebook Marketplace. Used iPad, 120 ONO. That evening, someone messaged. A man named Phil picked it up the next morning, cash in hand. Lena stuffed it into an envelope marked Capital One. Next, transport. She used to hop on the bus for everything: cold mornings, quick errands, lazy days. Now, she walked. Rain? She walked. Wind? She walked. She averaged 0 steps a day. Her thighs burned, her socks thinned. But she told herself, this is my cardio and my comeback. No Deliveroo, no cheeky Nando's. Her dinner became ritual, beans on toast. Sometimes eggs, if they were on yellow sticker discount at Lidl. Every pound saved went into a debt snowball. It was painful, uncomfortable, embarrassing. But it was working. At the end of the first month, she'd paid off Klarna in full. She circled the balance in red marker, tore the slip off the tracker and pinned it next to her mirror. Done, she whispered. One down. The next month, she chipped $150 off Capital One. Her smallest credit card balance now looked possible. Friends invited her out. She made excuses. Birthdays? She sent voice notes instead of gifts. Her old life felt distant. Her new life? Still bare bones. But beneath the discomfort, something stirred control. She wasn't swiping blindly anymore. She wasn't drowning in minimum payments. She was climbing. Lena wasn't free yet, but for the first time in over a year, she believed she could be. Lena wakes up earlier now, 6:30 a.m. sharp. It's not glamorous, but it gives her time to check Fiverr briefs before her morning toast and Tesco instant coffee. She's landed a new client, a startup founder in Manchester who wants weekly logo tweaks. Not her dream project, but at £75 a pop, it's oxygen. She works weekends too. Saturday mornings used to be for duvet days and Deliveroo. Now, she's sketching branding mock-ups and uploading invoices with her dressing gown sleeves tucked up. Her tablet's gone sold it on Facebook Marketplace for $110. That money cleared another chunk of Capital One. But the biggest shift? Budgeting. She downloads You Need a Budget. At first, the interface overwhelms her: so many pots, so many colors, but the logic clicks. Every pound now has a plan. She labels her pots like they're sacred: rent, food, minimum payments, and a small one titled Screw It Fund for life's curveballs. Even if it's just £5, that savings pot reminds her she's gaining ground. She also joins a Facebook group, DebtFreeUK. It's filled with strangers posting milestone selfies beside shredded credit cards and Excel trackers. She lurks at first, then shares her Klarna victory. They cheer like she's crossed a finish line. And for the first time in 18 months, Lena doesn't feel trapped. She feels like she's learning to swim in the deep end. It's a grey, rainy Tuesday in East London. The kind of day where the sky forgets to change expression. Lena is hunched over her laptop, cup of lukewarm tea beside her, when the payment goes through. Barclay card, £200, 37.49. Final balance, 0. She stares at the confirmation email for a long time, blinking through a blur of disbelief. Then she prints it. Black and white. No frills. She pins it to the fridge right next to the dog-eared tracker sheet that started it all. For a second, she expects balloons to fall from the ceiling, or at least a polite golf clap from the universe. Nothing. Just the hum of her fridge and the gentle tap of rain on the window. And yet, her chest feels lighter. Like she just put down a backpack she didn't realize she was carrying for years. No confetti, no champagne. No neon sign saying, "You made it." Just quiet, peace, and a wide smile through soft tears, because it wasn't about beating the banks or tricking the system. It was about proving to herself that slow progress still counts. That she could crawl her way out without shame, without shortcuts, and without selling her soul. She lights her cinnamon-scented candle, the one she'd been saving for a good day. Today qualifies. Moral lesson. Credit cards aren't evil, they're just sharp. And like any blade, if you lose control, you bleed. Lena learned that the hard way, but what healed her wasn't luck. It was small choices, repeated daily, with no applause. She learned that skipping a £3 latte isn't about deprivation, it's about direction. And freedom? Freedom is worth every damn skipped latte. Follow for more real-life survival stories that feel all too familiar. Subscribe to stay informed, inspired, and one step ahead in a mad economy.